Hi everyone, it's Paul from Mako, and I want to say a big thanks to WizKids for making this video possible. And this video is going to go on their amazing website, and while you're there, check out all the other amazing videos that are going to be there and loads of other different tutorials. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Lego and other items that you might find around the house and turn them into a stop motion animation. So first thing, you need a smart device, a phone or a tablet, and an app downloaded called Stop Motion Studio. And on my tablet, it's this blue one, and it's got like a camera on it, an old school film camera. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tap on that, and it opens up and it says Stop Motion Studio. And on the screen, you'll have a list of projects that have been made by the studio themselves, and they're there to show you how stop motion animation works. We're going to look at the big white plus button. When we tap on that, that creates a new project that we're going to work on. So we're going to tap on this big white plus button that says new movie. And you might get a few notifications to say it needs permissions to your camera, to your audio, all these different types of things. Don't press no or don't allow. You need to have access or we won't be able to see the camera, we won't be able to take pictures, all these kind of things. So if they pop up, click allow. And now you can see, if I put my hand in front of my camera, you can see a live feed of my movements and all this kind of things for later on. So what I need to do first is talk about some of the layouts, some of the buttons and what they do before we start animating. So on the right hand side, we've got a big red plus button. This is what we're going to use to take some pictures. Below there's a button faded out, and that's our preview button. It's a little triangle. When we press that, it previews the movies that we've been making. At the bottom, we've got a blue square, and this will be a timeline, a thumbnail line of all the pictures that we take. And we've got a back arrow, so that takes us back out of our project to the start. And we've got a slide at the side here that I'm going to go through later on. So first things first, we need to think about what we're going to be animating. So today I'm going to be using some Lego pieces, but you can use whatever you want. You can use your favorite toys, you can use people if you want to, you can use anything you want, any inanimate object you can bring to life. So for today, like I said, I'm using Lego. I've got some Lego bricks as well to make my set. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start putting some of my Lego bricks down to make a set. And if you can see at my camera, this is the same block I've just put down. If you look at my screen, it doesn't quite fit in the screen. So if I move it further back, it goes off the screen. If I move it closer to the front, you can see all of it. So you need to think about when you're building your set, not to build too high or it's not going to be on your screen. You can adjust the angle of your camera, but then if you adjust the angle of your camera, you're going to see more of the background, so you might get people walking across your screen depending on where you are filming. So think about your angles, think about the size of the bricks you're using and where you're going to place them on your boards. So I'm just going to make a quick set that I'm going to use during my filming. It could be anywhere. You can make any sort of set you want to be. You could be underwater if you like. You could be in the desert. You could be in space. You could be anywhere you want, really. You can use your imagination to build anything, any sort of set. So really quickly throw some more blocks down. Might have a little bit of a river. Use some blue blocks. So this is really cool when you're thinking about imagination, where your favourite place might be. I love being outside, so I'm building kind of an outdoorsy scene with a bit of a river, bit of a wall, bit of a building, all these different types of things. Can be anywhere you want. When you're thinking about your characters, think about where they're going to be placed, Same with your buildings. If they're too far forwards, you're only going to get half of them. If they're at the back, are you going to be able to see them? So before we even start filming, think about positions of things. Maybe you might have to move your camera around to fit everything in, but don't worry, you can move it around so you get everything in this is the perfect time to get everything set out where you want it. So I'm purposely putting this guy out of shot because I'm going to get him to walk into the shot. So I might start him this way so he's facing the camera. So I've got my scene set. I've got my characters in place of where I want them to start. And we're going to be shooting today in 5 frames per second. So that means for every 5 pictures that I'm going to take, that's going to be 1 second of film footage. So I've got my scene set. I've got everything where I want it to be. I'm going to hit this red button 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the reason I've took 5 pictures with nothing moving, no characters moving, no blocks moving, nothing, is to allow the people that are going to watch your animation to kind of see your set, get them so they're a little bit settled, they can see everything that's going on, they can be like, oh, that's set in underwater or set in space or set outside or in a house, wherever it might be. It allows them people to see your amazing sets that you've built. So now that I've taken my introduction, I've taken my 5 pictures, there's a couple of ways we can move our characters around the board. So one is if I pick up Michelangelo and move him forwards and take a picture and moving forwards again. So I'm moving in 1 dot at a time. And across. And I'll take 1 more. If I now press that preview button, that play button, I'll have a little bit of time of nothing happening, and then I've got Michelangelo and it looks like he's sliding across the floor. Okay, so that's one way we can get our characters to move. If I press pause, we can as well make them move by bringing one leg up, taking a picture, rocking him onto that forward leg, bringing his back leg forward, and taking a picture. And I'll do one more. So bringing that opposite leg from the first time forward, taking a picture, rocking forward, taking a picture, and last, bringing the back leg forward, so he's standing back and taking a picture. So if I press play now, we can see 2 different ways of him walking. So we've got him sliding, or he's actually walking 1 leg forward, 1 leg forward. So either way of moving your characters is completely fine. It might be that you don't have characters that you're using where the legs move, so sliding them across the floor to walk is fine. Or if your character legs do move, you can take little steps forward and make them walk. While we're at this stage, what does happen sometimes is a common mistake when we are starting to move our characters is my character's moving too fast. He's walking too fast. How do I slow it down? So if I jump Michelangelo forward and jump him over here and take a picture, and now if I press play, we've got a nice smooth walk, and then he's just kind of jumping across the screen. Okay. If I press pause and go to those pictures, you can see the big jumps between the dots on the Lego, how far he's moved. So when we then press play, it's like he's jumping across the screen, he's moving too fast. Okay. Unless you want that in your movie where he's teleporting maybe from place to place, if it's just a normal walking pose and scene, you might want to make little adjustments by using the little dots if you've got the Lego boards to see how far they are moving. So I'm going to take those pictures out because I don't want them in my animation. And to delete them, if I tap on the bottom of my screen where the thumbnails are, where the little pictures are that are moving along the bottom, if I tap on there, it brings up a little bubble with a load of little options in there. And the very last one says delete. It's got a picture of a bin. Okay, if I delete that one out and tap that one as well, and delete that one out. Okay, I've deleted those and I've just got my, if I press play again, I've got my 2 example walking scenes. Okay. But if I look at my last picture to where the camera is, okay, Michelangelo's not in the right place. So I could flip between the 2 pictures to find out where he is, but there's a quicker way. And I did mention it at the start, this little slider. Okay, this is called onion skinning. So if I slide it all the way to the bottom, it shows the last picture that I've taken. If I slide it all the way to the top, it shows the current camera. So if I go about a quarter of the way down or 3/4 of the way up, okay, it kind of goes ghosty so I can see through my hand. And this allows me to find exactly where Michelangelo was. So this works if you knock your board or you knock your characters over, you can slide everything back to where it was. So this is a really cool feature. If you knock anything over or if you knock your board, you'll be able to find exactly where things were. Another cool feature of this is if you're animating, it allows you to see how much you've moved your character as well. So if you've moved your character loads, your character then is going to move really fast in your animation. So another feature of onion skinning is being able to see how far you've moved your character. So a lot of people animate with onion skinning turned on all the time to be able to see what they've done, where they've moved to, how much they've moved, all these different types of things. So that's onion skinning. So that's on your left hand side. It's the slider at the side. Okay. So as we're animating, there is a few other little problems that people do. So I'm going to move Michelangelo. And I want him to be facing the blue blocks. I'm going to do one more step. So as I've been animating then, I've deliberately made a mistake, and this mistake happens quite a lot because as you're animating, you're trying to take pictures as quick as you can and you're getting through as much as you can in a short amount of time. And if I press play on my animation, I've got Michelangelo walking towards the screen, turning around to walk towards the water, and very quickly you can see I have left my hand in one of the pictures. So if I scrub through, there we go. And that's going to spoil the illusion. So people are going to say, there's a hand in there, so the hand's been moving, and it spoils the illusion of stop motion animation. So we've used this before by tapping on the frame and using that feature to delete. So we can delete that frame out. So when I press play this time, as we go through, perfect, there's no hand. It's not spoiling the illusion. Go to the end. So what I'm going to do now is I've given you enough information to start. So you know all the buttons, all the techniques, everything that you need to know to start your animation. what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish some of my animation right now. So I've got an end animation for you, and you can start animating yourselves. So I'm going to crack on, get an animation together, and then I'll show you some finishing techniques at the end of this video. Okay, so now that I've got my animation to where I'm happy, and there's something else that I want to add in, and there's a new skill that I want to show you, is that I've got my two characters now looking at each other. So I've got my character that's walked in, and I've got my character that stood on the other side of the river. What I can do is I can add a voiceover, so I might want one of my characters to say hello. And if I'm putting a voiceover in there, there's a little technique I want to do before putting in my voiceover. And we could take 5 pictures of nothing happening, so we've got enough space to put our voiceover in. Or we can do something a little bit quicker, is if we tap on the frame, we can use a feature called pause. So if I press pause, it brings up this little slider, and it's got loads of numbers on it, and it says pause 1 time, or if I drag it across to 5, it says pause 5 times. And a lot of questions we get, people think this means it's paused for 1 second, or if I scroll across to 10, that's paused for 10 seconds. And it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. It works in the frames per second. So at the start of the video I said we were going to be shooting in 5 frames a second. So if I scroll across to 5, this means it's going to be paused for 1 second. If I scroll across to 15, that's going to be 3 seconds, okay, because 3 times 5 is 15. So that's how we work it out. So I'm just going to pause it for 1 second. So I'm going to drag it across to 5. It's paused for 1 second, and I'm going to put that in. So now on my little thumbnail at the bottom, I've got a number 5. So that shows which frame I've paused. And the reason I'm pausing it is to give me enough time for my voiceover. And to do a voiceover, if we look along the bottom, just above our thumbnails, there's a picture of a microphone. And if I tap on the microphone, it brings up this little box. And this shows us that we're ready to record. So if I tap on that record button, I get a countdown to say in 3, 2, 1, you can start recording. And what I'm going to record in is I'm just going to record in a hello, or a hey, who are you, all these different types of things. You can record in anything you want, whether it be if your character's walking, it might be you tapping on the table to make footsteps. It can be anything you want. It can be loads of different sound effects. It doesn't have to be a voiceover. So I'm going to tap record, and my countdown's in. Hello. Once I've done it, press stop. And if I press that play button, we can hear a little bit of the feedback from it. We can hear the sound effect. So I'm going to press done. And now I've got a musical note on that thumbnail as well. So I now know that that last thumbnail is paused for 5 frames, and it's got a sound effect or a voiceover in there. So if you press play, watch your animation, and I can see my speech coming up. Okay. If your speech runs too long, you can edit it. So let's scroll through towards the end, press play again. Hello. So I know it runs a little bit too long. So if I go back to the thumbnail that's got the sound effect on, if I tap it, and then this time press audio, it means I can do a few little cool things with it. Okay, I can trim it. So using this little slider, I can see where my sound effect ends. Okay, by trimming it. So if I press play, hello. Okay, I'm happy with that. If you're not happy with it and you want to re-record it, you press that red delete button there. If I press that red delete button, it takes the sound effect out, okay? Because if I tap on there and press delete on that button there, it deletes everything. It deletes the thumbnail and the sound effect and deletes everything. So I'm just going to re-record that in. Hello. So now I've got it back in, and I'm just going to trim it down slightly again. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm pressing done, and then it's in. So I can press play. Hello. Okay. So I'm just going to pause that frame a little bit longer. So I'm going to tap pause again, and I'm just going to pause it a little bit longer so my sound effect, my voiceover fits in perfectly. Hello. Okay, so it's in, it's fitting perfectly, and I can carry on with my animation, or if that's the end of my animation, it's completely fine. You can add as many sound effects as you want, but you can only add one sound effect per thumbnail. So you can't have multiple recordings on one of these little pictures at the bottom. So you'd have to make sure you're putting it in between on different thumbnails and trying to make sure they don't overlap, so you've not got multiple sound effects running over each other, especially if it's speech. Okay, so if I've got both characters speaking, try and make sure that one sound effect, one speech finishes and then the next one starts. Okay, so you don't have them trying to compete to go over each other. And that's it for animating. They're all the skills and techniques. But you might be thinking, well, I've finished my animation, I want to share it with people. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press at the bottom this little back arrow. It's underneath the onion skinning, and next to the microphone it's an arrow pointing back. If I tap that, it takes us back to our project screen. And on the project screen, it automatically names every project my stop motion movie. And to change that, we have to tap on the writing, because if we tap on the thumbnail, it opens up our project again. It loads our project again. So what we need to make sure is that we tap, it's a little fiddly, but if we tap on the writing, it brings up a keyboard and we can delete the title. So you can give your movie a title, whatever it might be. It could be, very simply, your name. So it could be something like this. So it could be just your name and stop motion movie, or it could be named after the characters, or a mysterious day, or the mysterious villain, or the evil character. It can be anything you want. It can be anything. All I've got in mind at the moment is walking, so I might just call mine The Walking Man, or The Walking Turtle, or whatever it might be. I'm just going to leave it as that for the time being, and press done. And now I've got a title to my animation, and if I want to share that with people, if I tap and hold, it brings up this blue bar at the top of my screen where I can play it, I can share it, I can delete it, I can do various different things, but I'm going to concentrate on sharing it with people. So on mine, because it might be slightly different on your device, is the arrow with the square pointing out. If I tap on that, it gives me a few different options. I can export the movie, I can have it as an animated GIF, a flipbook, or a project. If you're sharing it with people, we're going to want to export it as a movie. So I'm going to tap on that, and then that gives me loads of options where I can export it to, whether I'm sharing it to another device, whether I'm saving the video to my camera roll, whether I'm sharing it to social media, wherever it might be. Okay, you can share it to other projects, other apps, loads of different things. So share it wherever you want to, wherever you're planning on sharing it to people. And that's it for this video. So I'm hoping to see some great animations created by WizKid children. Okay, if they do go onto social media, please share it to ourselves and WizKids. I've been Paul. Thank you very much.